In this podcast, I will talk with professional gambler Daniel Gould about the chances for Bulgaria at the Eurovision Song Contest 2018. Because Bulgaria might be one of the contenders this year at the Eurovision Song Contest. However, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. We know that Sacha Jean-Baptiste will do the staging. Is that something, Daniel, that you're enthusiastic about?
I have mixed feelings about Sacha Jean-Baptiste. I think she's very talented, and I think she has occasionally done a very good job with some Eurovision entries. But occasionally when she has an arty entry, she makes it even more arty, and then it becomes a little unaccessible. And the example I will give is Armenia last year, which in hindsight just looked a little fierce, looked a little off-putting, rather than being welcoming and kind of creating a sense of inclusivity. So she's done a great job with she did a great job with Bulgaria last year. She had a nice, beautiful ballad, and she enhanced the sense that it was a nice, beautiful ballad. And it was, it's a little bit arty. She is very considered about what she does and every camera angle, but it didn't go too far down that road, whereas I think she did go too far in that sphere with Armenia. So she has to, it's an interesting one but this Bulgarian song is a very arty, dark song, and she has to be careful not to make it look too off-putting and alienating to the viewer.
And what would you do with this group of people, Equinox, to make them come out justified?
This is a really good question, and in fact, I mean, the thing about them is that they said themselves, we are a motley bunch at the London Eurovision party. They recognise that they are five very disparate-looking people, and they're from different geographic areas. Two of them are African-American from America. So what she needs to do is, and they didn't gel particularly on stage. They didn't look like they should be a group. And so her job is to try and make it look like it's perfectly natural that these five people are on stage together. And so actually her job is to draw out of the members of Equinox that sense that they belong together.
So you have to stage it so it becomes a united group of people.
Yeah, and it's not even just about the staging, it's about the set. She has to imbue, just like a director with actors, she has to encourage the people involved that they need to look like they belong together, and they need to have that kind of sense of ability to convince the audience that this is all perfectly natural and they belong together. And so she has to draw that out of them, just as a director of a film would try and draw a cast of actors to look like they sort of belong together.
When Sacha gets the staging right, and we hear the vocals like we did in one of the videos from London when they were together for the first time.
Yes.
Could it become then, if that's all correctly, become a contender indeed?
Well, we should say that there was a lot of playback on those vocals in the London Eurovision party. All the harmonizing was there was a huge amount of playback. In fact, one was blown away by the sound of the playback at the venue. And that's obvious because the sound mix stayed the same wherever they were putting their microphones, or whoever was of the five was singing, whether it was all five or... So the only bits that were really honestly live were the verses, and the rest were not. But they're all good singers. I mean, I'm not saying they're not good singers. They are. The issue is when you have five of them having to harmonize, that's difficult because it just takes one of them to be slightly off or to not quite be matching where the others are, and then it all kind of falls apart a little bit. And that's difficult on the big stage. But they're all great singers.
We also heard Ireland and Russia for the first time in live performances over the last weekend. Shortly about Russia. Were you in shock?
that was a car crash of a performance. And if it's anything like that in May, then it's a non-qualifier as far as I'm concerned, even though it's Russia. I mean, it's not a particularly friendly semi-final for them anyway, by Russian standards. But, you know, we've watched disasters before. No one is talking anymore about the Moldovan national final when Doridos, that was a bit of a car crash live, because everyone knows that they will improve upon that. So, in a way, we still have to wait for rehearsals. And the fact that they've had the disaster, sometimes that's a wake-up call. Sometimes that's the time when a delegation will think to themselves, oh gosh, we really need to do something about this. So better it happen now than happen in Lisbon. You have to, I mean, it was terrible. We've rarely seen something as terrible as that. But you have to realize that, you know, it's pre-rehearsal. We haven't even got to Lisbon yet. So much as that, it looked like a non-qualifier based on that alone, you actually have to wait, unfortunately, until rehearsals start, and in fact, even just on the night.